Howdy, this is going to be YouTube video number 6. I'm going to go over the self-regulated learner essay in some detail. This might be kind of a longer one, but I want to make sure you understand what I'm looking for with the essay. Make sure you have the essay assignment sheet in front of you so you can kind of keep up with what I'm saying. This was in your folder last week. There's also a copy on Schoology. It looks like what I have here on my screen. Again, it's going to be a 700-word, 5-paragraph essay. Hopefully you've done that 5-paragraph format before. It's kind of a formulaic essay, but it's kind of nice because you get to know exactly what I want in each paragraph, and writing to a formula has its advantages. You're going to write about any 3 of the profile points of a self-regulated learner. You read about that from the first reflection. They're also listed on the assignment sheet down there. And you're going to pick any 3 of these as they apply to you. Are you good at planning and organizing your work? We all struggle. And by the way, as you look at them, some things you're gonna be like, man, I'm good at that, and some of them you're gonna be like, ew, I could use a little work there. Nobody's perfect, right? But these are all those ideas that help make you a better student. But are you good at planning and organizing work? Are you motivated to learn? If you're not motivated to do well in a class, it's hard to get up and get the work done sometimes. Are you good at seeking help? I can be bad for that. I can sit there and refuse to ask for help and just go down with my own little ship there, right? And it doesn't serve me well. I was about a junior in college before I got over that. Can you control your learning environment? If your cell phone's going off every 30 seconds, it's going to be hard to get anything done, right? If you're like me and have a large family, Haley have trouble finding quiet space to get her work done in sometimes. It's just we can't just throw everybody in a closet and leave them there for a while. So everybody has their challenges, and we work, and how well you deal with these challenges. It's kind of going to be the basis of this essay. Notice some of the requirements. Again, you're going to be focused on yourself. You're not telling me how I could be a better student. You're telling me how you're a good student or how you can improve as a student. Generally with these, when you pick your 3 points, it's good to pick maybe a couple you're good at and one you need to work on, or kind of mix it up a little bit. And it kind of makes the essay a little more interesting. You can see the word count requirements. I'm going to go through each paragraph here in a second with a sample essay. Within the essay, you're going to define growth mindset and self-regulated learning. I'm going to show you how to quote those and cite those. Might wait till next week once you get your draft going, maybe before you get too far into that. But those 2 things you look for in reflection number 1, you're going to be talking about in your essay. You need 5 uses of figurative language and no you, or it. You can always rewrite a sentence to get it out of there. It generally leads to your use to passive voice or vague pronoun reference. You and you don't need in your essay. You're writing about yourself, not about the readers. You don't need those in there anyway. But make sure you kind of review the assignment sheet. The way this essay is going to work, we're just going to look at a sample essay here. By the way, I'm doing this video from the beautiful Dobbins Bennett High School, and I have to use a computer that's logged on to by Nona Shepard. So that's why you might see her name there. But this sample essay, notice she's formatting the essay correctly, just general formatting. Her name, my name, class and section number. You don't need the section number. There's only one section of this in help. And the date with the day, the month, and the year. You're going to center your creative title. Your first paragraph, you're going to introduce yourself as a student. Don't say your name or anything, but kind of tell us what kind of students you are in the past and that you've been in the past. You might go ahead and give one of those definitions. Here she gives the definition of self-regulated learning. To get her essay going a little bit. But notice she kind of gives the definition, then talks about it in terms of herself. And again, that's the whole point of this essay, is for you to talk about yourself, why you're a good student, how you can improve as a student. And she's giving us some background. She's going to be maybe a little more detail there, but she's telling us what kind of student she's been in the past and what her strengths are. And what she's eventually going to do is get down to a thesis statement. This is going to be the one sentence that tells us what your essay is going to be about. And this thesis statement should have your three profile points in there. So you're probably going to say something like, I'm good at these 2 points, but I need to work on a third point, or I'm good at 1 point, but need to work on these 2 points. But you are going to include those points in your thesis. So we see hers right here. I feel as though I exemplify the qualities of planning and organization and controlling my learning environment to eliminate or reduce distractions. She's given us 2 things that she's good at. I do, however, need to improve my personal awareness of strengths and weaknesses. So she's got a good 3-point thesis, and that's the way the first paragraph should work. You should introduce yourself, maybe define one of those terms, try and be as precise as you can about what kind of student you are or have been, and give that thesis statement. And kind of looking for that thesis right at the end of the first paragraph, just to kind of go with the formula there. And then what you're going to do, once you have those 3 points in your thesis, you're going to spend a paragraph on each one of those points. And with each paragraph, you want to give good details, good figurative language, which I'll talk about in another video, and show us exactly what you're talking about. So here she's saying, I consider one of my more prominent strengths to be her organizational skills. And then she's going to tell us how she does that, right? Once you make a good declarative sentence like that, prove it. Show us what you're talking about. So she starts talking about her planner. She has all her assignments from the time she was in elementary school to the present. That's pretty impressive. This is a high school student, right? And having all those assignments kind of indicates, yes, she's pretty organized. I'm not even sure where I was in, half the time when I was in elementary school. And she's going to talk about her planner, about how it helps her stay organized, all the things she has to do. And again, you want to start developing good examples, showing us what you're talking about. She has pocket dividers. If you keep your stuff color-coded and labeled, and if you're a super hyper-organized person, show us what you're talking about. Show us, don't just tell us. If you're going to go the other way and say, I'm a total slob, I can't keep track of anything, then you're going to show us kind of the opposite. How messy your desk is and your backpack, and how all your assignments are just kind of thrown in the corner of your room, or whatever's going on with your lack of organization. But with each point, that's what you're going to do. You're going to develop a good paragraph, use good examples, maybe one, at least 2, maybe 3 good examples, and show us what you're talking about. Then you're going to end with a good concluding sentence. That kind of brings the paragraph to a close. Then you're going to go on to your second point, right? Our second point was controlling the learning environment. Notice she has a nice, good topic sentence. Tells us what the paragraph's going to be about. Then she starts giving examples of how she controls her learning environment. And I'm not going to read this whole thing to you. You can kind of see how it's going to go. With students today, that might be a question about cell phones. It might be, with help co-op, might be about siblings, getting them to be quiet and let you work. It may be, your parents are doing chores all the time around you. How do you find a good place to work where you can concentrate and get your stuff done? How do you control that environment? This paragraph might be just a little bit on the short side, but she has the general idea overall. Give good examples, develop those examples. Actually have a good concluding paragraph, a sentence to the paragraph. Going on to the third point, saying she's not so good with being aware of her strengths and weaknesses. And again, she's going to give us a couple of good examples and why this weakness might cause her some problems as a student, and what she can do to improve, knowing what her weaknesses and strengths are. In this paragraph, she goes ahead and works with the growth mindset idea, and defines that in the paragraph. You can do this in the first paragraph, you can do it in the last paragraph, you can do it in the body paragraphs. Somewhere in the essay, you got to define self-regulated learning, and you got to define growth mindset. And again, I'll show you how to cite those and format that. That's not too hard to do. But you kind of notice how that worked. With the you have the introduction paragraph with a clear thesis statement that's going to tell us what the essay is about, a paragraph on each one of your thesis points. In conclusion, you want to kind of give us the big picture. Don't just restate your thesis. I don't know if you can't quite see that. That's my big complaint about this essay. I probably kind of brought it down to the B level or somewhere. Don't repeat your thesis points. You're kind of taught to do that in speech classes and maybe some writing classes. But really with essay writing, you're kind of building towards something at the end. So if you're building and building and building, I've got your thesis statement. I've seen you develop your 3 thesis points. what am I supposed to take away from this? And if all you do is repeat your thesis, I'm like, well, duh, I already read that. Why are you repeating yourself? Especially a short essay like this, you're kind of insulting the reader a little bit by assuming they can't keep up. So what are these things going to do? Are working on these things or maintaining these points going to help you in college? Are they going to help you in life? Are they going to help you in your career? Right, if you've ever encountered someone in a professional situation that wasn't very organized, it can be a little disconcerting, right? You don't want a nurse coming into your hospital room just kind of handing you drugs, saying, "Here, try these. I think these are yours." You want somebody who's organized and knows what they're doing, right? So all these things contribute towards a good life, to a good career, to being a good student. Um, and that's kind of what you want to get to in the conclusion. What's the reader supposed to take away? How's this kind of give us a sense of the big picture there? I will give you these. I will tell you exactly how to do this, so don't worry about your works cited page too much. Yours is going to be a little different than the sample one, but not much really. But that's what the first essay is going to look like in terms of formatting, in terms of organization and development. I'm going to do another video. I'm going to do a video here on figurative language here in just a second. I want to kind of get that out there. If you have questions about how to organize the essay, be sure to let me know. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.